Okay, today we're going to look at the problem set, which should look very similar to your homework, but you'll notice it has slightly different problems with the same types of problems. So if you watch this, hopefully it will help you understand how to do it, but your homework does look a little different, so don't just take the answers and transfer them. So we're going to look at number 2 to start with. It says construct a line. The line's name is going to be F, so that the y-coordinates of every point is 3.5. So if I look at the y-axis, which is right there, I know every single coordinate has to be 3.5. So that would be 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and I would draw my line right along that 3.5 on the y-axis. And this line is going to be labeled F. It also says construct a line G so that the x-coordinate of every point is 4.5. If I look for the x-coordinate, that's right in between 4 and 5. And I'm going to draw that line as well and label that G. Line F, they want to know how many units from the x-axis. The x-axis is down here, and if I look, it's 3.5 units from the x-axis. Give the coordinates of the point on line F that is half a unit from the y-axis. So if I go over on the y-axis, half a unit would be right there. So they want the coordinates. Well, the x-coordinate would be half. And again, the y-coordinate is always going to stay the same, and that's 3.5. With a blue pencil, shade the portion of the grid that is less than 3.5 units from the x-axis. So if I look at the x-axis, it's down here. Anything less than 3.5, well, I'm looking for 3.5, which is right there. Anything less than that is going to be this portion right here. So I would shade that in blue. Line G is blank units from the y-axis. Well, here's line G. I want to know how far from y. If I go over, it's 4.5. So it's 4.5 units from y. Give the coordinates of the line on point G that is 5 units from the x-axis. Well, let's count 5 units. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know my x-coordinate is 4.5, and my y-coordinate is going to be 5. With a red pencil, shade the portion of the grid that is more than 4.5 units from the y-axis. So if I look at the y-axis, it's right there. I'm looking for anything that's bigger than 4.5. Well, 4.5 from the y-axis is there. Anything more than that would be right here. Okay, we'll look at a couple on the back. Construct a line M so that it's perpendicular to the x-axis. This is the x-axis down here, down along there. I need perpendicular, so it'll run that way, so I make a 2 90-degree angles. Okay, perpendicular to the x-axis and 3.5 units, or 3.2 units from the y. Well, here's 3 units, and I can see I have it split up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3.2 units. So 2 units would be the same as 2/10. These are actually split into fifths, though. So that's equal to 1/5. So 3 and 1/5. Just had to do a little conversion there because it went from decimals to this is actually fractions. So there's my line. That's line M. I've done that. Okay, I've constructed line M. It's perpendicular to the x, and it's 3.2 units. And again, I had to take my conversion and say, okay, 0.2 is 2/10, and because this was split into fifths, I had to split it into fifths. Construct line A that is 0.8. Again, I want to split that into fifths. So I know I have 8/10. That'll split into 4/5. So 4/5 from the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4/5. Draw a line, and we're going to label that one A. Actually, I'll extend that one out. Oop. We're going to label this line A. So I've done that. Now it says construct line T that is parallel to line M and halfway between line M and the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm going to see how many there is. Okay, halfway. Well, it looks like there's 3 and 3 and 1/5. We'll count how many little boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, half of 16 is going to be 8. So I want to go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's halfway. And they want me to label that T. Construct line H that is perpendicular to line T. So that means it needs to go that way. And they want it to pass through point 1.2 on the X and 2.4. So I'm going to make that point first. So 1, and we said 2/10 was equal to 1/5. Okay, and then on the Y it's 2, so I'm going to go up to 2 and 4/10, which is equal to 2/5. So it's going to be right there. And I want to make a line that's perpendicular to T, or to H. No, perpendicular to T, and we're labeling this H. Using a blue pencil, shade the region that contains points that are more than 1.6 units. We'll convert that to fifths. So 6/10 is equal to 4/5. So more than 1 4/5 units, and so it's got to be bigger than that, but less than 3 1/5 from the y-axis. So if I look at the y-axis, I want it to be bigger than 1 4/5. So here's 1. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be bigger than that, but I want it smaller than 3 1/5. So here's 3, here's the 1/5. I'm going to shade the section in the middle. Oh, I got a little carried away over here. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, we're going to stop right there. The next one, they just ask you to do something similar.